So I'd like to welcome in for that building. So without further ado, I want to call on Minister Ossian Smyth, Minister for the Circular Economy, to say a few words. And Ossian, the stage is yours.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Thank you very much. 50 years ago, when I was born first and growing up in the 70s and 80s, things were a lot grimmer, obviously. And we just put our rubbish out. It was taken away. It was thrown into the local landfill, piled up high. And I remember going up there. I remember seeing it thrown out, and you could go up and you could pick things out of it if you wanted it, if you're missing something. And nobody wants to return to those days. Over time, more and more environmental rules came in. Things that then we had green bins, things being recycled, and so on. But somewhere along the way, we did lose something, And I think looking around here today, looking at these buildings and these facilities and all this stuff, you see the heritage of all of the items that we've had from our past going back. What we lost, I think, was the idea that we should look after things. We moved towards this idea of a throwaway culture, the idea that when something's broken, it's not worth fixing, that you can just make a new one. You can dig something out of the ground in a mine on the other side of the world, and you can make it up in a sweatshop and then send it back here and then buy a brand new one and throw that away and pay to throw it away each time. And I think people have really felt a sense, and everybody seems to have come to this conclusion separately, that this doesn't make sense, and that it doesn't make sense to keep spending money on buying new and throwing away. Now, getting back to where we were and getting a circular economy, which I suppose is a new phrase, it's easier said than done. And my job, I suppose, is to get people on side and to understand what it is. And the idea of a circular economy is very abstract. But when you come and see something like this, it sort of makes it much more real. It's much more understandable. When I was appointed first to be a minister, what I decided was, I'm minister for bins and rubbish. I need to see where it all goes. So I wanted to see when things go in the bin and they're collected, where do they go? Where do they go next? What happens at the sorting facility? What happens to the plastics and metal that are taken out? What happens to it all? So I've been all around the country. I've been in every county in Ireland seeing where does the food waste go? Where does everything go? And the sad answer is that a lot of the stuff ends up in a container to be shipped abroad. So pretty much, if we're not landfilling it or burning it, it's mostly leaving the country. The vast majority of it is, right? And what you're doing here, recycling is brilliant. It's a great place to start, but it's a terrible place to stop. And what you're doing here is that you're going that extra level. You're onto the next level of take the stuff out, find the value in it, put a little bit of love and heart into it, and then see what can you make something that enriches people's lives. A lot of that is about repair and reuse, and I see the workshop here in the corner. It's about the skills. It's about local jobs. It's about instead of the money going off to China to make a new one or to dig something out of a mine, that we're actually training somebody up in skills that we used to have that our grandparents would have had. So I think what you're doing here is fantastic. I think it's inspirational. It's an honor for me to be here, and it's also very enjoyable. So thank you for inviting me to be here, and it's very educational. So I can't be making policies behind a desk where I haven't actually talked to the people who are doing the thing in the place where they do the thing. That's very important for me. I have to do that a couple of days a week. So I just want to thank all of you, the staff at Clare Waste, who are obviously brilliant and have loads of skills. From Clare County Council, Joe Cooney, thank you very much for having me in your territory. And thank you to all of you. And to